Rethinking worship. Rethinking the church demands that we ask whether the assumptions that we just talked about are important to us. Are they sound assumptions? Here's what Leith Anderson, the great Sunday school and church guru, has had to say. He said, years of decline had taken a painful toll on a desperate church. What we need, the members said, is a dynamic new pastor. A search committee did everything right to find the perfect leader. He was young but experienced, serious but witty. If anyone could turn this problem-ridden congregation around, he was the man. And when he came and addressed the congregation for the first time, he gave an inspiring description of his qualifications, experience, vision, and plans. And this final line summed up his stirring presentation. He said, "With God's help, I intend to lead this church forward into the 19th century." One of the members of the committee was a little surprised to hear that and said, "You made a mistake. You mean the 20th century." This was a while back. But the pastor then looked at him and said, "We're going to take this 1 century at a time. 1 century at a time." So church members need to ask themselves, and churches need to ask themselves, what century? In what century does our worship reside? I think here at Robert Dale, we are about as modern as any church in our area has gotten. We understand the importance of tradition, but we also understand the importance of including others, of being intentional about explaining who we are and what we're doing, and our music is very, very well blended. We have a good variety. We have a lot of activities for different age groups, and we try to let everyone actively participate in some way in worship. So I think we're doing some good things. Doesn't mean there's not room to grow. But we need to be very careful to understand that the people who are out on the outside, have never been part of church, and more younger people particularly have never been a part of church. For them, even our more modern worship would be a little scary, maybe. When we think of traditional and really, stuck in your way, you may think of Primitive Baptist or something, and say, we've got music, we've got instruments, we've got carpet on the floor and pads on the pews and air conditioning running. But for a lot of people, they've become so accustomed to something different outside of the church that makes us look kind of stuck in our ways. Now, I'm not saying that that's bad. But the problem is, if we are trying to reach those people for Jesus, then we already have a hurdle. Something there that we are going to have a difficult time overcoming.